Ladies and Germans, Soviets and Soviets of the Red Army, how are you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru, hello, hello, hello.
And folks, we are back on the map that is just really hard to say, Hiroshige, I
Bless you.
believe. Thank you, thank you. It's that time of year, so I get a little bit sick sometimes.
hmm
But Rank, who is duking it out, and what are they bringing to the fun?
Well, on the left-hand side in blue, we have Shaun playing as Korak 559. And on the right-hand side, we have Ponchik playing 84th Guard Rifle Division.
Do you think that Shaun heard us cast the last Cork 559 and thought to himself, you know what, I gotta give him some more craziness?
I hope so. I really hope so. Like we say, we love seeing the more of like the not meta divisions being played. So it's always a treat seeing Korak with their circus of tanks they bring to the field.
Well, the kind of interesting thing too is we're seeing more and more Maverick, kind of
Yeah,
players.
yeah.
Which I saw a post the other day on the Reddit that people were talking about how, with the raw nature of the economies,
Hmm.
and the one thing at least that's kind of funny to me that everyone said without a fact, 100%, Juggernaut is not to be played in 1v1.
Yeah, it's terrible because a lot of the deciding factors of the game really happen in the first 20 minutes. And you have the worst 20-minute income of Juggernaut. I mean, if you survive to C phase, it's fantastic, but you usually don't.
Good luck getting there.
Yeah, it's that sort of thing.
Looking at initial breakouts is entirely what you would expect. Of course, we have a ton of Soviet stuff rushing
Yeah.
port towns. There's this guns do what they need to do. And looks like it's still, honestly, kind of a mild breakout. Both sides really only going to that 50-yard line.
Yeah, nothing really too crazy. Just pretty standard deployment. What bugs me a lot about this map is that the crossroads isn't like directly centered.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that, but I think to a certain extent it almost kind of gives a bias to one side.
Just a little bit, it feels like. I think it's not like too much to make it game breaking, but it just really bugs me how it's just not right on the center. You know, you think X marks a spot, but it's just a little bit off.
That's true, but look at it this way. Canted at the angle that it is in the first place, we are just 4 lines away and making a very, very naughty sign. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, yep, yep.
But
It's a
of
big
course,
plus.
please. Oh yeah, definitely true. Um, oh, I kind of forgot about this. That the Länderschützen, the Ost-Länderschützen have the MP-28 Bergmans and the super old school machine guns.
Yeah.
Oh
Kaiser
man.
called, he wanted his machine gun back.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, you don't see line shooting guys often because they're really only. It's only Korok who has them. You see him a lot in the campaign because bag racing and all of that. But yeah, they're like Ostrooping essentially, but with machine guns.
True, true, and less spiffy uniforms.
Yeah,
Now we have several sniper squads. I'm surprised there's as many sniper squads as there are
yeah.
actually out on the map. It's a very unique opening.
You don't usually get great availability for snipers in A phase, and it's honestly a pretty good call in this town. Like rare deployed is fantastic, as they're just
Hmm.
getting some lovely 360 headshots on those land shootings, and at range they're pretty safe.
Oh yeah, they're totally no scope, and you know that.
Mm-hmm.
Worth noting that up to the north we had ourselves, I think it was a 742, 42, one of the Russian captured Boita tanks over here for the Germans get taken on out, and you can see it already. Germans are kind of rocked on their heels, which kind of to be expected, I would say, early on from Kursk.
Yeah, this little northern push from Ponchik did pretty well as he was getting into that forest. Just lost the flag here as the Flammenwerfers and Shupos are moving in, but I think Saparis can easily. I don't know, it depends on who can shoot the other guy first. I mean, Flammenwerfers and Satchel Charges is pretty square.
Yeah, that is usually how most war tends to follow, though, I imagine.
Hmm.
If you shoot the other guy before he shoots you, you win.
Yeah, I think that's how you survive combat.
Might be, might be. I have to say, I have absolutely zero experience other than being an archer in general, so, and I hope I never have to find out.
Amen.
In the meantime, down south, of course, as you might expect, very little going on. They do have that saddle between the two hills, which you'll probably see it in the occasional, armored vehicle kind of rush across, but that's not where the main event is. The main event, of course, is in the northern saddle, and ooh, wow.
I
There's an
know.
off-map call-in? Oh, 203. Oh, this is going to be
Huh.
terrible for... Sean's going to get crushed. Oh my god.
Oh, that's a really good call-in. The off-map works fantastic on this map in the middle, just due to how dense everything is clustered, and we are seeing a bunch of Panda 2s being brought in, just like the invasion of France. It's actually a really good call-in for this map as well, because town fights like this, those autocannons are supreme.
Now, I'm not sure whether or not this infantry is going to get out of the town in time. Or out of that, at least out of that TOT barrage.
Oh.
And it looks like we might just be able to kind of like hustle out the last second. Unfortunately, that poor Pack 36, he's going to get absolutely, smashed here.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow the Germans are actually being quite competitive in this town.
Yeah, they just got numbers and are using like those T-34s rather effectively to help out with the fight.
Just kind of stunning for me overall, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Same for our artillery, just stunning those infantry.
I made that comment and I thought to myself, Khan, you're opening yourself up to an entire pun. Oh, well.
Yeah. It's just so easy, man.
If it was anyone else, I'd care. We do have a Henkel coming on in with a 30 millimeters. Really kind of interesting. I feel like I don't see this plane nearly ever. I know Cork is the only one who gets this particular variety. 30 millimeter versus the 20 millimeter, is there really that much more penetration?
It doesn't actually do any armor penetration technically, so it's still like it's just like explosive damage more than anything. Right? Yeah, it doesn't do penetration. I was double checking.
It's not. I was checking that myself. You said that, I was like, I should probably check that.
I actually don't know the effectiveness because I remember during release, no one used it because it was apparently really bad, and I think they buffed it some point in time, but no one still uses it because of that stigma. And more importantly, we got the gun pod Ju-87 up north. Oh no, it's the anti-tank run.
Oh, I was gonna say I was so excited there. Don't do that to me. I was like, oh my god.
It's still pretty cool. Amazing. But not as cool as let's stick like 6 training mils on an airplane.
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard to hate on that. Now we are step into an attack run. Yes, he is. I think we're gonna see at least 1 kill.
Well, see, he's going for the T-34.
That was easy.
Yeah. Press button.
Well, now here's the question: is he gonna go along the middle of this path? I don't see any anti-air over here from the Soviets. Now we have a ZSU coming on, but that 12-7s. Quad 4, I mean, the Quad 4 12-7s are going to be absolutely brutal.
But they have limited range.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Ugh. I have to say, the other day I ended up on YouTube, in the wilds of YouTube, I ended up discovering Sharp's Practice. There's a tabletop all about like the Napoleonic Warfare, and I have to admit, I'm hooked. It's terrible. It's just absolutely nothing to do with this game, but I think I was just thinking about it.
Because is it like a miniature war game run, or is it more like a board game?
Imagine 40K, but with Napoleonic tactics.
Oh, okay. There's another one like that called Black Powder.
Yes. Yes, it's very close to Black Powder. It's also kind of close to, oh god, I can't think of the last one. But the point being, it's so great to see like almost a new renaissance in the last couple of years, I would say, of historical gaming.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
60 mil in the the Henkel 129 fired what? 10 30mm rounds and just completely, destroyed that last individual.
It may be a questionable anti-tank plane, but as you can tell, its not going to say infantry, but its soft target capabilities is
it might be anti-dead soon.
Oh yeah, it's kind of flying a little bit too close to a bunch of 50 cals, which is pretty hazardous to your health.
Oh my gosh, 1 second more, legitimately 1 second more, and that guy would still be alive. But 84th is not necessarily gifted with a ton of aircraft, so it's kind of hard to really be too upset about it. And really overall, not the worst trade, I guess. Unfortunately, the P2s are finding out that they don't want to be anywhere near that artillery and getting hammered by T-34s.
This is a fantastic counter push here from Ponchik. The off-map has been doing a very good job of curbing Shaun's aggressive capabilities in the town, and now out Ponchik's got more of that classic guard TP scrotch out, a little bit more armor. He's gonna have a much better time in that town.
That's good, because up north in that forest, he's not gonna have a good time. The Rona Pioneers, essentially Soviet troops with a Axis flag slapped onto it.
Yeah, they're identical to Saparis apart from the satchel charge, but even then, it's just a different skin.
Exactly, and actually, I kind of love seeing the SPW ADGC.
Oh yeah.
essentially a half track with a P2 gun,
You know,
like
that's
more or
thing.
less.
Yeah, that thing is it's an Austrian vehicle. It was like originally designed in Austria, but then the Austrians sold it to the Dutch, and then the Germans invaded the Dutch and got a hold of a bunch of those things apparently.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing. It's like a old school 234/1.
Worth noting, in the meantime, Soviets did get a little frisky down to the south, but like I said, that saddle is awfully hard to come across, especially with those trees so close. You have a lot of automatic weapons fire,
Yeah.
and you'll get pushed back.
Yeah, its town fight usually kind of becomes like World War One in a sense, where you just set up your line of trenches, which is just your, you know, line of buildings which you
Demarcation.
hide in. Yeah, and then you just like have to run across the like 300 meters of no man's land to get to the next road, so to speak.
Well, we're already well on our way to making that look like the surface of the moon with all the craters on the meantime.
Oh yeah.
Wait a second. The gun pod is back. He's going for the middle of the town, and up north we're seeing actually a PE BIS, whatever you want to call that. The Junker might go down. It definitely might go down. Of course, I've been wrong before. I could not be happy to be more wrong about that.
Same here.
It's a venerable plane. It's really hard to hate it.
Mm-hmm. Real classic.
It is. I mean, something like that goes into a civil war and still survives it. That's got to be pretty interesting. Uh, so, what do you think? We are now into Phase B. Is Shaun pulling it back, or is he just kind of delaying the inevitable?
Yeah, it's actually been pretty back and forth so far. Yeah, Shaun has been losing, but he has been putting up quite a bit of a punch in the middle. I mean, both sides have pretty good attrition warfare infantry decks, and pretty similar tank capabilities. Once we get later into B phase and C phase, Ponchik should start throwing out a bunch of IS-2s, while Shaun just kind of has the tank museum on a speed dial.
You know, I'm not entirely sure if this Ju-87, if he's just trying to waste the ammunition on these guys. But that's the second time he sent him in on exactly the same gun flight path, so I'm a little surprised. I don't know if that was intentional, or if he just kind of forgot, or what happened there.
I think after the first run, you definitely don't want to be flying anything over the town anymore. You just really want to be using stuff on the flanks. But yeah, I think it's gonna be Shaun's. Or both sides can really exploit trying to push the flanks. We've seen Ponchik pushing up north quite a bit, but he's now been kicked out of the Hamburger Hill area. But down south is really up to anyone, really, to try and push across and try to get to the other side.
Yeah, but that's one chicken I would not want to be.
Yeah, it's kind of a deadly road.
I guess I'm looking up north, and while I agree with you that they've been pushed back, there's a people with rocks. I mean, those guys, there's an awful lot of DACA in those squads.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, wait a second, we have a guard DP squad who's just lollygagging his way over and just basically a free flag.
Yeah, he's gonna pretty much. Yeah, he's probably gonna kill out armored cars that pokes his head out of that forest.
Or will he?
Or maybe, I don't know. Yeah,
The
armored car.
PTRD, oh my gosh, it's one burst of fire towards another couple shots.
A PTRD is just completely missing.
Oh man, that was unlucky.
There we go. Autocannon, guys. Never underestimate it.
That's true, but he legitimately he just used 3 mags of that, so there's only 10 rounds in one of those ammunition banniers.
Oh yeah.
Alright, in the meantime, like you said, the tank museum is coming out. And actually, our first 81mm stovepipes coming over here from the Germans. But Komrotti is out, as is a 37mm. So even if the ZSUs go down, that 37mm would be more than enough to keep things competitive and scary for any ground attack German planes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, one of Kork's really scary things is all the good ground attack planes that they got. They got the gun pod. They got the J-87G runs, the gun pod runs, those Heinz-Schools. They got some pretty damn good air power, honestly. So being able to tell them to piss off is rather advantageous, and we're even seeing an 85mm being brought out.
Really? Oh, is that in the
Or up
center?
north.
Oh, okay, I see it. Yep.
He's slowly getting dragged along in that Soviet tractor. Yeah, it's like a tractor. half tractor.
I think actually, you know what? I wonder this. The mortars are trying to unmask the anti-air. This is interesting.
Ah,
That's a really nifty, a little bit erroneous in my mind, but it's a really nifty utilization of a ground attack plane.
yeah.
And that guy's got 9 lives because he should be dead.
I know, those Stukas. I'm surprised the Stukas have been staying alive flying over yet, and the high school just got completely shracked on.
Yeah, but you can tell by the way that guy flies. He's a woman's plane.
Yeah.
That's no time to talk.
Yeah.
That went very differently in my mind. Anyway, one thing also worth noting was, and where was I going to point that out? Oh yes, there's the LDF Commandant. So that guy came in with the initial wave, which I find supremely interesting as well. We're not talking, a Führer leader. We're talking the battalion commander, the division commander is here immediately.
And he's pretty much right in the thick of things, to be entirely honest. And we are starting to see people use commanders more and more now, which is good. Especially on a map like this, where it's so dense in the middle. I mean, a lot of his guys are just getting 2-star veterans. Us troop and have bloody 2-star veterancy just because of that commander. And it's very easy to set up chain of command in that town due to how dense it is.
I also kind of like the fact that we have ourselves a second artillery park forming over here for the Germans. We have another brace of 81 millimeters. I would like to see some more artillery, really, from the Soviets. I have a 122 coming in the center, but other than that, we have a couple light artillery pieces. I say light kind of pejoratively.
Yeah. I think a lot of his initial punch really came down to that 203 card in A phase, which is a pretty expensive card to take activation point rise, because you only get a single off-map artillery unit per card, where on B phase it's 2 and C phase is 3, so you're really losing out on availability, whereas early off-map kaboom.
Can we also talk about the fact that the Pack 36 door knocker is just not getting anything done? There we go. I had to tough talk it.
Holy crap! I think that was one of the Rackington Roth heat shells.
Yeah, it was a Pack 36.
Yeah. That's holy crap. Like, Pack 36 is such a fantastic little anti-tank gun because it's extremely weak, yet also one of the most powerful. Oh god, that fighter. And it doesn't crash into any Germans.
You would have liked that, wouldn't you?
I would have.
I know, it's really hard to hate any single time something like that goes on. We went to the north. Yes, we did see some bunch of Soviets really kind of pushing into that forest, and we see a bunch of pioneers hacking down the trees to get at them, going the other direction.
Yeah, you're definitely correct. Those Saparis definitely did rock.
Oh boy. The artillery park is going after the anti-air pieces, and this is exactly what you want to see. Oh my gosh, he's just absolutely devastated them.
It's a stupid amount of pioneers, Khan. I mean...
Oh, to the north? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they could like you said, they could, like, deforest your entire sector in just a few minutes.
Now, the thing that's kind of interesting to me is that, first of all, Shaun has not been able to pull back at 50-50. In terms... If anything, he's been starting to mass his units, but is he really doing them in the best spot?
Yeah, he's really trying to put all his eggs in the middle, which does make sense, because it's the most comfortable area to push, while Ponchik's been doing a fantastic job of putting pressure up north. I mean, right now he did lose one flag, yeah, but he's forcing Shaun to spend a bunch of points to try and root him out of a very nasty close quarters situation. Shaun will be able to, just looking at the numbers here, will be able to get that flag back, but it's costing him time, and... Well, he does have time on his side, technically, because he has a balanced income, but Ponchik's doing a very good job of taking advantage of that income advantage that he has.
True, but I think I'm more concerned about what happened when Ponchik loses his front line. There's nothing there. There's absolutely nothing there. And while, yes, the Germans are being forced to bring in a lot of Shupos, and they have P3Gs, and things like that, these mortars are going to cause an awful lot of an issue.
Yeah, but you see, the mortars now getting counter-battered, which is probably the best call, because, hey, if you want to run a town fight, guys, just bring in mortars. Even if you have a bad infantry division, you can usually run town fights if you just use small caliber mortars effectively.
Yep.
Yeah, as you see, artillery piece is not having a good time. Same with the anti-tank gun, which decided to park right next to it.
But like you said, if you can shut down the air power, you shut down Korg.
Yeah, that's a really big chunk of it. Shaun is infantry spam and his raid to victory, and it is working.
Yes, it is. Now, down south, we missed a push across the saddle. Not sure how the heck that happened quite so easily. Oh, that's why, because there's an IS-2 down there.
Oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense. And he's been pretty busy.
With SPWs going in. Oh my gosh. Like lambs to the slaughter. Poor bastards. But they're there to kind of keep things a little bit more competitive, keep them honest, so to speak. And really, as long as that IS-2 doesn't see longer than 500 meters or so, you might be okay.
Yeah, I'd really want to just park at IS-2, just pretty much directly on the road, to be entirely honest. You don't really have to worry about keeping it cover or hidden. You just want to get those long-range shots.
True. True.
Yeah, Ponchik's just doing a fantastic job of playing the flanks, and on this map, doing that helps out a ton, because as we see in the middle, it's a goddamn meat grinder.
Yes, it is. And up north, they matter. Wait, Ju-87? Okay, he's undamaged for the moment. The mortars are continuing to still... I think they'll start cranking shots off pretty damn soon. And up to the north, the forest will be wiped out in just a moment here.
That's a lot of satchel charges. Or the German grenade. Beitelundung.
Yeah, I think about the Ledungs. Yeah, those things are amazing. Kind of amazing what we do to kind of get by from a tactical and strategic standpoint in war. Another PE-3 BIS coming up to the north, not unexpected. And with 9 squads there, this is going to cause a hell of a lot of an issue.
Yeah.
I think he realizes it too. That's why he's starting to spread. Yep, he's spreading. Only question is, was it enough? No.
Oh, that was pretty good bombing run. Yeah, hopefully for Shaun, he's like he realizes maybe start trying to be a bit more offensive on the flanks. Like up north, as we can see with Gold View, it's a perfect opportunity to start moving across and get to that northern hill. And oh wow, Marco's been using a 1v1, and that is to designate anti-air.
Which is good, because the artillery has counter-batteried his mortars quite efficiently. And with the IS-2... Yes, the IS-2 in there. We have KV-8, so T-34s. This is the deadliest time for Shaun. He's got to survive. He's now into Phase C, so you can see already he's bringing in oodles and oodles of Shupos. We have like 7 or 8 squads down below. Remind me, how many bajillion and a half does he get in Phase C per card?
36.
Yeah, well, I think I think he actually might find himself tapped out at the end of this, but maybe I'm overanalyzing it a bit.
Yeah, you get... nice thing about Korg is you just don't run out of infantry, period.
No, you do not. And even more funny for me is the fact this IS-2 is like, I gotta go. Engine damage, crew panicked.
Whoa.
Oh, he's so lucky that he lost line of sight there. And interesting. Is T-70 putting fire? Yep, the T-70 is putting fire as well onto that 85 mil. So that guy is not going to be too long for this world, I don't think. Of course, the same can be said for that T-70. Interesting.
Oh.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm sorry.
No, we're just seeing just like the horde of infantry in the middle, and it's just... I think it's just going to overwhelm Ponchik's middle lines.
Well, I was going to say, the one thing I find really kind of surprising, and in many ways almost inspiring, not that because of the SS troopers, but rather there's 0 anti-tank here. From an infantry standpoint, you have the occasional civilian bands, or whatever you want to call them, and these guys do pack quite a punch, don't get me wrong, but the overwhelming bulk of these troops have 0 way to counter all of these tanks.
Yeah, that's a good point. The nice thing about fighting against 84th is they don't have a lot of tanks. They got 1 card of T-34, 1 card of KV-8s, and then some IS-2s. So they got good tanks with like the IS-2s, but in terms of numerical superiority, they don't have a lot. And good God, those mortars just blew up a supply truck.
Yeah, you saw that too, did you?
Yeah, that was brutal. God damn, these mortars are I don't take regular 81mm mortars much. I usually just take half-track runs or bust. But I think I need to start taking some 81 mils in my decks now, because this is
Well,
pretty crazy.
the increased range is nice. That's true. Now it's kind of funny. We actually the Soviet guns. They're 122 mils, right?
Yep, these are the ones these are technically IS-2 guns, which I put
So
in.
if you look to your western side, if you look at your left-hand window, you will they're bringing clones of those guns. So right on the center line, we have 396 RS. That basically that should be the Boita version of them, shouldn't?
I think it is slightly different, but it's the same it's the same ammunition. But yeah, it's Russian artillery is going to be shooting Russian artillery.
And that's been pretty much the story of the game the entire time here. Junker 87 coming back down to go after this IS-2 yet again. Yes, I don't think he's going to get his way out of this one. That's an awful big ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just the hordes of infantry as well. I thought it was the Soviets do who mean wave tactics.
The Germans just had a crap ton of guys in reserve, apparently.
Something's bugged here. Do you see all of that? How is that happening?
Oh yeah, down south.
Crazy bug is going on here.
Okay, wait, hold up, I don't think that was a bug. Here's my hypothesis.
Okay.
So that Ju-87 was being hit by flak, right?
Yeah.
The flak hitting the Ju-87 overhead caused enough suppression vertically. Yeah, it's still like area of effect also hurt the ground troops underneath it in terms of just suppression. So I think it was literally the flak gun just firing overhead trying to hit the plane that scared all his infantry, which is ridiculous.
Right. It happened over. I didn't know what the deuce was happening there, but if that's the case, that needs to get changed.
Honestly, how it's even calculated, it's pretty impressive.
But that's absurd. That plane is flying at minimum over the top, or meters if you prefer. There's no way in God's green earth that they're going to use an airburst shell that can do that much. That's insane. Think about that. If I fire in the middle of the town right now, and I can suppress half the army.
Oh, but you're shooting at the plane though. It wasn't he wasn't intentionally trying to hit the infantry.
Okay,
it's just like
what's the standard blast do you think on most anti-air? Like a Flak 36, for example, is 3,700. Excuse me, 1,300 blast. Suppression's 56, right?
Yep.
85 mil, 319 suppression and 2210 blast.
What is the blast number mean?
Well,
I think the blast. Yeah, the blast is the area of effect, which is a pretty big area of effect. And I think what I'm saying, it calculates it in like a sphere, so it also takes into account the vertical, area of effect. I think it's just like a sphere blob.
Follow-up question then: why the hell doesn't the 88 do that?
Because that was like an anomaly. I think it would do the exact same thing if you were shooting disheartened troops with a plane flying low. It's just really funny.
Really wants to test that.
Same. We just spent like 2 minutes talking about it, but that was extremely interesting because that is a completely unexpected game mechanic, which you wouldn't think would be simulated. But hey, it's fucking Steel Division for you.
Yeah, it just completely blows my mind. But meanwhile, while the Russian numbers are getting less and less, you want to look to the north, for example, we have almost as many units being brought in as most guys can field in their initial deployment.
How many Flamen rifles do you need?
I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Apparently 5 is the current number.
Yeah.
But that's what? Literally 170 points worth? Yeah, I think he spent his entire reinforcement tick just bringing in infantry.
Just looking at the middle is absurd. This is just absurd.
But yeah, I mean, you said about the 84th has great overall attrition. I don't know what happened to the Russian army. I looked for 1 second, I turned away to talk about the whole 85mm thing, and everything is dead.
I think that's what happens when you take a Maverick deck. Probably took a lot of the earlier cards instead of like the C phase guard spam, which you can do pretty well with 84th. And yeah, also economy. He's getting 90 points less a minute compared to Shaun, and that's going to be a good game.
Wow, that was that just between the 85 millimeter doing that nonsense and then blinking and suddenly the Russian lines being completely collapsed. I am blown away.
Same here. That was a really cool match. Real
Uh,
like pretty back and forth for a bit, and then attrition.
yeah, exactly. We do have an occasional T-34 doing pretty well. We have that the P3 PE3 bis rather, Schwartz. Well, he took out quite a few pioneers. I can't help but feel that a couple of those kills, or three of those kills, are pretty much all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Shockingly enough, there are some standout guys over here from the Russians. Nothing massive necessarily. And from the losses side, an extremely mild performance. But if you
Pretty
look at
even
the stats
Stevens.
overall, the losses don't seem to show that. Is it basically
Yeah.
because the IS-2s?
Uh, I mean, like Pack 36 killed one IS-2 and a KV. Yeah, and a gun running on IS-2 for JU-87. Yeah, it's really like
Like
everyone
several.
did their part in Korok.
Yeah.
No one really stood out, which makes sense. I mean, it's just a lot of spam units. There's no real crazy. I mean, unless you take the Tigers, there's no real crazy veterancy elite, one-man army nonsense going on.
True. I guess there is no I in Manshaft, but there is the man,
Mm-hmm.
and he knows how to shaft the Russians apparently. Um, but with that in mind, wow.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to sit back and just relax and just kind of think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Um, well, while I do that, I do want to make a quick comment, guys. I know some people have reached out to me in the last couple of days asking how to send replays into us. Both of us are on Discord. We are also can be found at the Steel Division Discord as well. I know Rank puts a what you call it, link up to that in his description. I'm gonna start doing that as well. But if you have a replay you want us to check out and want us to check out, hit us up. We're more than happy to check it out. And who knows, maybe the next video is going to be, featuring your gameplay.
Yeah. In the like official Steel Division Discord and the ST League Discord, there's a channel in under the Steel Division 2 section called Interesting Games. Just upload it in there and you're pretty much good to go, because that's where I take a look at to try and find replays to cast. So yeah, please, for the love of God, send us your replays. We want them.
Exactly. But all right, folks. I guess for that right now, I guess until next time, I am a thoroughly stunned Connor Rourke.
And I am a flacked out Rang. Take it easy.